Yeah, there's ISO in there. Everybody cool, cool. You know that I'm swerving. Busting some shit out the vault today. Taco promo motor breath combo. Oh, you're not ready. I'm gonna let it settle. You're not ready for this. I gotta set this aside real quick. Sorry. Gram. How long I can make this gram? Yeah. Always mix washes after. Like if you're just mixing for flavor, mix it up after you get done washing everything. Wash it, press it, finish it. If the turks are good, then you can combine them. You can say, what is that? A bird? Oh my God, not a bird. Yo, those guys killed a big ass rat, straight up just big, and they got a pigeon. Took the head off that shit. These guys are nuts. Oh, first wash, second. I don't even separate my washes by first wash. I should say I haven't separated washes in years, like 5 years probably. You should know that just from watching the stuff. There's no separation between them. There's no difference between the quality of the oil. That's what we're after. Oil. People that separate out washes. This is my personal opinion. It's a very generic blanket statement. So if my butt hurt any fucking hashers, too bad. Hashers that separate out their washes do it for the customers because they're able to get more money for the first wash because the customers have been brainwashed into thinking that's the best wash. When in reality, that wash has the most contaminants. So, you know, whatever, separate them out if you want. Not what I recommend. I wish I could show you inside this jar. Probably this shit is like Mic quality, is that better? It's because I was trying to play music for you guys, but YouTube made it weird so that if I'm playing music, then the audio is ass. Is that better? No, this is not focusing. Open this window, son. Oh, there we go. If I can capture that without the sun washing it out. Oh, I can't. It's not focusing for me. Unfortunate. YouTube is watching me on YouTube. Is the mic better now? I've been waiting on feedback on that. Okay, that's what I figured. Good to know. I'm gonna clean this. I got paper towels right here. What's up, Zion? I got a blazer torch on the way from Pedro. I got a purple one, but I need a guard for it. I'm just cleaning my katana. This is actually sharp too. She'll cut you. I have a sword too. These are from 710 Coils. My sword is nice too, but it gets dirty so easy that I don't use it very often for that reason. Dude, I love the handle on this. I never use this one, but you know what? Why not? Let's use it today. Let me remind myself why I never use it. And then they both have their own case. I'm not quite sure where my shovel Damascus is. Or Damascus shovel, rather. All right. What's cool about these is because they have the hilt on them, I could take them and drop them in my rig after I load up my dab, and it just chills there. So, like, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, I'm sure you guys have seen me do this, where I take this and I just go, boop. Chilling in there. And both of them work the same. Yeah, it depends on what type of wetting agent for sure, for sure. I'm not familiar with that, but I wouldn't run that through drip, no. Jose. Jose Ole. My man. You just said build a soil, not build a hydro, not build a drip. Why do you think you could run that through drip? That is for soil, my man. Mostly anything in the industry that is directed towards soil specifically is going to be a absolute no-go for drip or hydro. No. Go get some raw yucca salts or some other form of yucca that's clean and soluble. But just get the raw NPK yucca salts. Okay. Same thing with the kelp if you want. But if you get kelp, there's other products out there that have kelp and helmic fulvics in it, and some even have kelp with a little bit of SI in it. So there's different products out there that you can get to supplement your crop. You got to make sure you pay attention to what the actual ingredients are, because a lot of the kelp products are made with a lot of nitrogen. You got to pay attention to which form of nitrogen too. Is it nitrate nitrogen, ammonium nitrogen, right? So when you're buying ingredients, even your wetting agents, pay attention to what it is. Then that'll answer your question of whether you can use it in soil or hydro or whatever, because you'll know what the ingredients are. What is everybody doing today? What did you guys accomplish? I was busy today because I didn't go live until just now. For me personally, I got all my cloning done last night. Checked on my clones today, took the dome off for a minute, let them breathe, put the dome back on. I cleaned up my office and got it nice and organized. I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is about as organized as this area is going to get for now because I'm prepping some orders to go out right here. This desk is all clean and organized and shit. So, a lot better. I inventoried all of my items that I use to build Pinnacle equipment and systems. I went ahead and placed orders for all the components that I need to fulfill a large customer order in a couple of weeks so I can start building out their order. What else? I started designing a custom humidification system for the facility that we're going to install Pinnacle at in LA. It's going to be a custom dry fog, about a 7.5 micron dry fog mist that is going to humidify the entire facility. There's 8 rooms in one facility plus showcase rooms, and then there's another facility that has like 5 rooms. So completely custom built system for that. All we're doing is buying the nozzles from this other company that makes the nozzles, and then we're gonna plumb all of the air lines in, the water lines in. Not me, the contractors. I'm just gonna go tell them what to do. I'm gonna have them plumb in airlines and water lines, and we're gonna run them down the length of the room, and we're gonna install these nozzles, and then we'll use solenoids on the airlines to trigger the misting nozzles, and those solenoids will be controlled more than likely via open sprinkler. I have to see what type of pressure we're going to be dealing with in these airlines so I know what type of solenoids we're getting. whether they're going to be 24 volt or 12 volt, I'm not sure. So we'll go ahead and get those solenoids and get them all wired up and connected into either our 24 volt relay system or our open sprinkler or something of that sort that will trigger the humidification. Okay. What's going to be really cool is because I'm custom designing the system and I'm doing all the custom data logging for the company and their facilities. I have multiple temperature humidity sensors in each room. There's at least 5, which gives me each corner plus the center of the room. So if there's a microclimate and I need to adjust the humidity in a specific zone, I will be able to adjust the humidity in a specific zone in that room. I don't have to trigger all of the dry fog nozzles to turn on at the same time. I don't know too many other people that are controlling the humidity in their facilities down to zones in the rooms themselves, not just overall the room as a whole. So it's really cool that I'm able to do that for them. Hold on. Sorry, talking to my developer right now. 70 bricks from Home Depot. Holy shit. Set up a new tent last night. Nice. New tents, new builds are always fun. Fruit trees, move plants in for the winter. Dude, I want to get like a little orchard going. Whenever me and my wife finally are able to buy a piece of land and build a new home, I'm going to have an orchard where I just have citrus trees and different fruit trees. I think that would be so badass. What do you mean to Pinnacle's Instagram? What you talking about? They get me for what? I haven't done anything. No, my account's still there. Man, don't be playing with me like that. Yeah, my heart going. Bro, Bloom Chaos. I've been trying to tell people about Bloom Chaos. How long have I been telling you guys about fucking Bloom Chaos? Growing Life Organic. Let these motherfuckers know that shit is a fucking genie in a bottle. Bro. Look, you can run Bloom Chaos in the Resi through drippers, no problem. Okay? Oh, no, sorry. I'm thinking of Bloombastic, not Bloom Chaos. Bloom Chaos. Don't feed it through the drippers. It will get too chunky on you. Bloom Chaos is best used, in my personal opinion, at 2 times. Okay? Transplant, when you're putting into your final medium, it's going to help those roots shoot out laterally and search the whole medium. You see a lot of people that stack rock wool on top of this or on top of that. And the second part of their medium, the bottom part, only the bottom and the sides get full of roots, but the top corners, there's nothing there. Completely useless, right? When you use something like a kelp, right, you get those natural PGRs and aminos that tell the roots when it's applied to the root zone to branch out laterally. When you apply that same kelp and amino compounds to the foliage, it tells the same thing to the branches, right? Branch out laterally and make more node sites. And so I recommend when you transplant to your final medium, use a little bit of it, right? Um, if you're going to flip to flower, use it as a foliar, just a couple of applications depending on your strain. If your strain is naturally really, really branchy, you do not want to apply kelp as a foliar. It's going to make your shit even more branchy. Okay. If you have something that's kind of tall, lanky, a little stretchy, you need it to kind of stack up, do a couple extra applications of that kelp, maybe 2 to 3 times a week as you flip until you get flowers. And it's going to help with the stack tremendously. But again, you can overdo it. So you need to make sure you know what you're trying to accomplish with your specific genetics. Nah, that's the backup Pinnacle account, bro. That's Pinnacle.systems you're looking at. Go to Pinnacle Systems LLC. Your PGR is it's a growth hormone. Okay. Basically, all plants have natural PGRs, right? That can be used, and there's also synthetic. Synthetic is the shit that makes the buds look like big rocks, just flat, no crowning, no calyxed out buds, just straight flat rocks. You're struggling, FJ. They're hormones, plant growth regulating hormones. It's it's certain enzymes, from my understanding, that trigger certain hormones within the plant to activate or be focused on. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Um, but there's these naturally occurring versions of them, like in seaweed and kelp, right? Exactly, an upregulation. I used to run SLF 100, and I don't necessarily think that I got the biggest benefit from it because I was in hydro at the time. There's not a lot of organic matter to decompose outside of the roots that are dying themselves. So if you have a healthy root zone, the SLF 100 enzymes that are there to break down organic matter and make it, nutrients for the plant, it doesn't do as much. So it was, okay running it in hydro, but it's very expensive, and you're better off just going and getting like a pond zyme, right? Hardware store, pond enzyme cleaner, cheap, and you don't need a lot of it, right? I'm a hydro grower through and through. Not to say I don't understand organics and all of that other shit, but what I practice is hydro. And in my specific use case, what I find to be the most beneficial is using bacillus. There's different species of bacillus that work well. HydroGuard is one specific brand or product that I use, that I've used for years, and it's always done extremely well at providing a buffer for the medium. Um, it keeps the reservoir and the root zone from going anaerobic by colonizing beneficial bacteria so that harmful bacteria cannot colonize. which in my opinion has always been a more proactive approach than being sterile. Being sterile is like having a paper bag as a condom with no backup. Like you're going to bust through it eventually. It's just a matter of when, right? You can be sterile all you want. That's not going to prevent a bug from landing on your jacket and coming in with you, being in your hair or on your shoes. So being sterile adds literally no real prevention. Um, it's just, you're not introducing anything that's going to, purposefully cause your shit to go anaerobic. Um, but I find it's better if you have a team of backup on your side. So you can run mostly sterile. I guess you couldn't even call it mostly sterile. You could run really clean, like no organics. You can run all synthetics, like what I do, and then just add in beneficial bacteria. And I keep my ORP around 450, no more than 550. And that ensures that I'm not killing off all of the beneficial bacteria I'm adding. It keeps the water clean. Um, and yeah, and then you can always hand water your beneficial bacteria teas or whatever separately from your irrigation if you want, and run your irrigation, truly sterile. There's multiple ways to do it. Bloom chaos you need to use very carefully because it will make your plant branch out like crazy. You ever seen a plant that gets too much UV where the branches just, they don't even really grow vertically that much. They just grow a bunch of nodes and branch out stupid. Bloom chaos will do that if you apply too much of it to the wrong genetics. There's certain strains that are already naturally branchy. You don't want to use multiple applications of Bloom chaos on those right out of the gate. If you feel like you need to increase the branching of the plant, the node stacking, do one application at the suggested rate. I think it's at 1/16 of a teaspoon per gallon, and you pH it to 6.2 is what they recommend. I know that because I used it so much. And apply it one time, at the end of veg when you flip, right? Because that you need to get those hormones activated in the plant before you get into the stretch. So that way it's starting to stack already. So you want to apply it the last week of veg. And then if, like I said, if it's a strain that doesn't need a lot of extra help, just do one application. In fact, the first time you use Bloom Chaos on all of your strains, you should do one application. That's it. And see what a drastic difference it makes. And don't spray all your plants. Spray, if you have 4 plants, spray 2, leave the other 2 alone. Because then you're going to be able to see, okay, I did one application on these 2, and it clearly made a difference on both plants compared to these other plants, right? And it's not just one, so it's not coincidental. You have 2 controls, right? So do that, and then you'll be able to see, okay, hey, you know what? One application did fucking a lot of work. Maybe I should only do 1 for this strain, but on this other strain, it looks like I could have, used it again, right? So maybe next time you do 2 or 3 applications. So you just have to be very, very smart about your application with it, and always give time for the plant to react and tell you if it likes it, doesn't like it, how much more it wants of it, right? If it wants more. Yeah, you just one thing at a time and observe, take notes. Yeah, hell yeah, Dirty. Yeah, that sounds cool. I really want to do outdoor eventually. I'll get to it. And not my DWC. I'm saying like actual beds. I want to do some beds or some pots. I think if I'm going to grow outdoors, though, I feel like it would be better to do beds and drop the beds into the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that way it stays cool. It doesn't dry back as fast. Rain science raised bed. I haven't heard of that. Controlled depth greenhouse. I don't know. I don't. Everybody's buds that I see outdoor just look so goddamn leafy. They just look like big leaf sticks with a little bit of frost on them. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sold on greenhouse. I haven't had anybody bring me greenhouse where I was like, yo, this shit is fire. Even just for washing. The best reaction I've gotten out of some greenhouse was like, meh, we'll see what it does. You know? I just meh. I have not watched Moki. I don't even know what I'm dabbing next. Oh yeah, I'm gonna hit this Pata Plomo motor breath. Yeah, I mean, I'm no stranger to greenhouses. I've been to plenty of them. I've got fucking a billion people asking me if they can run Pinnacle in greenhouses. Um, I've been to Tikkun Adelanto. They have pretty fucking sick greenhouse. Is. But anyways, I don't know. Just not my thing. Look, I feel like for me, I don't ever want to become a grower that has that much of a workload again. Like growing to me is not the bee's knees. Like it's a lot of fucking work. It takes a lot of time away from the family. It's physically taxing, and I don't need to do that to satisfy the things about growing that I enjoy. I enjoy the fine tuning, tinkering process of growing, dialing in a strain so fucking good that you can't dial it in anymore. Having your environment so perfectly tuned that you can get it to do what you want, when you want it to do it, how fast or how slow you want it to do it. Like that's to me what I get off on. The whole growing and having all that work and all that. Nah, I just need enough to sustain my smoking habits, which my room is perfect for. So I don't ever see myself having too much bigger of an operation than I have now. Um, Maybe a bigger room to work in because I don't have a lot of room to work in. but not necessarily more lights or more plants or anything like that. I'm kind of content with where I'm at. And I have a lot going on with Pinnacle and the data logging side. And really, for me, I'm more involved in that because for me, I get to play with all the data. I get to learn all these new industries and see how they use different data points and why it's relevant, how it's relevant, and how can we automate it and centralize it. And to me, that's a bigger mind problem to solve, right? That's a logical problem that I like in solving. That's a puzzle for me. Growing is like, yeah, just you can't do it for profit anymore. That's for sure. Fuck. Still fighting off this sickness. Cheers. Yeah, that's tasty and strong. This, I think this was a 73 through 159. Will be. It's a little more amber, but it's still clean. The only time I travel is to make money. If it's not about that business, not about that dollar, that guap, that gula, then I'm not fucking going nowhere. I dabbed that at 520. Damn, that was good. All right. Sorry, I'm talking with my dad back and forth. Hey, enough. Also,
Bring him in?
no, you don't have to. He sounded like he was going crazy at their fence. I don't want him to hop over.
Oh.
I don't know where he's at. He's not coming over here.
He's
Also,
right, he's right there. He's looking at you.
hey, calm down, fool. Yeah. So we are going to stay home. Everybody's just barely getting over being sick. We're trying to see if everybody's going to be healthy enough to go to the pumpkin patch. Is that tomorrow? No, Saturday. So in 2 days. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. But we're supposed to go with, cousins and all that, and then come back here. And I'm the type of person where, like, if the kids are sick or the family is sick, I'm not trying to take that around other people or have other people come around us. I just feel like it's irresponsible. You don't do that to people because you hate when you get sick, right? And you always blame it on somebody. You look for a reason to blame it on. Oh, it must have been somebody at the store, or it must have been when I went there and somebody was sick or whatever, right? So, like, why do that to somebody else? So, I think we're just going to probably kick it. Buy the kids some candy, put on some scary movies with the projector, pop some popcorn. If they're feeling better, we'll walk around the block and then maybe take them to the pumpkin patch. And then now they have all this like, I don't know what's going on in other states, but in California right now, they're having like these fentanyl scares, and I know every Halloween there's a different scare that they promote through the media, right? I know this, I'm not dumb. But this year they're saying it's fentanyl and it's in different colors looking like different types of candies. And where I live up here in the high desert, and in my specific neighborhood, it's a good neighborhood. But there are some weirdos, and you just never know. So if we take our kids trick or treating, we're going to let them go trick or treating, but we're going to throw away all their candy and give them candy that we bought for them from the store. Yeah, I know. A lot of it is propaganda. They've been doing it every fucking year since I was a little kid, as far back as I can remember. It's always something. It's a different drug, a different scare. It's always something. I know. But the reality of the situation is people are fucking dying from it. There are crazy ass people out in this world, and I just don't trust anybody. So, nah, we did that last year too. We bought a bunch of candy at the store. We gave the kids the candy from that. We gave out candy at our house, but we know it's good. You know what I'm saying? Other parents don't have to trust the candy we're giving out. That's up to them, right? But at least we know it's good store bought candy. So we just eat on that and give that to the kids. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, and it's not only that, bro, but look, there's a lot of fucking crazy shit going on. I don't know if you guys have noticed. There's motherfuckers just blatantly running people over in the fucking streets these days, plowing through parades, going through intersections at fucking 90 miles an hour and just blowing people into bits. It's a crazy fucking time to be out in a public space these days. In the high desert up here, there's been a lot of shootings going on in public spaces. Like some dude got shot in a road rage incident at the Lowe's parking lot around the corner from me. Same Lowe's I go to all the time. Same Lowe's where my girls go to gymnastics to, right across the parking lot. Then there was another shooting off the freeway right up around the corner in Hesperia right by the Target, where this fucking dude killed this woman, his wife, kidnapped the daughter, and then all types of crazy shit. There's been like 3 or 4 shootings by stupid teenagers at the malls, at the mall, I should say. It's just fucking crazy. Yeah, just crazy shit. And it's just like why? I it doesn't matter where you go. That's the problem. I don't live in a bad area. You know, this shit's happening everywhere. Doesn't matter where the fuck you live. Fucking rich white people are getting their houses broken into. Fucking it don't matter where you live. The world is fucking crazy. Everywhere is crazy. So, yeah, exactly. Growing life. I'm trying to have me a little plot. I want a little plot where if you're coming down my road, I know you're coming to my house. I know you're gonna come in. You're coming to see me before you see me, right? And if you're coming down my road, you got a fucking purpose. Cause I just want my space from all the crazy. You can only control your domain, right? You can only control your domain. Dude, I think it's ooh, Instacart, or is that delivery for me? I want to know what it is. Yeah, you know, dude, if it weren't for me having kids and getting married and all that, I probably would be a sovereign citizen by now. Because let me tell you, man, we're not going to get into that today because it's not Monday. But if you guys want, I'll drop a video on you that if you take the time to watch it, it will blow your mind. I say that because I probably should explain my ranting right now. In my head, I was just thinking how every state has different laws regarding protecting your private property and your family and your land. And it's not all cut and dry in some states, where in some states, yeah, if they're on your fucking property, then it's like no questions asked. You know what I'm saying? But in other states, there's more legalities to it. Like, they have to actually be posing a threat to you, intent, capability, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just weird, but there are certain unalienable rights where you just know that you were not wrong. You were in the right. It's unquestionable. And the law should not be able to fuck you over because of some weird semantics, loopholes, verbiage, blah, 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 right? Like those sovereign, God given rights, right? Every man is born with them, but when you sign over, or your parents sign over for you on your behalf because you're a minor, and give you a social security number and sign you up to the US government agency, then you have to additionally abide by that corporation's or agency's rules, state laws, federal law. But there are certain other rights that you have, but you can give up your benefits of the corporation of the United States of America and become a sovereign citizen, and you no longer will have a social security number. You will be relinquished of all debt, but you will also give up certain benefits and protections that are provided by the state and government, which is an agency, because you are no longer a registered member. Anyways, that is a quick glimpse into this video I'm going to drop for you guys about sovereign citizenship. I think if nothing else, it's something that you guys will probably enjoy just becoming educated about. Maybe it's something that you've never seen, and you know, believe it, don't believe it, whatever you want. But these are facts that I'm gonna drop right here if I could fucking find them. Playlist. Show more. There it is. I can't believe this video is still here. It's great. All right. So there's that one. And then that's part one. And there's part two. You watch it at your own risk. If you watch those videos, or even just one of those videos, and you bring it up in another video, a live session, whatever, I'm down to talk about it. Because that shit, I just broke it down a little bit for you guys. Okay. So go check it out. Come back, see if you think I'm crazy. All right. Telling you. Fucking telling you. It's nuts. It's nuts. Once you see how this country is set up, the Matrix is not far off. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. You are born into the system. You are literally indoctrinated into the system from conception even. And the real rules are hidden and out of sight. And this isn't just like citizenship stuff. Think about financial laws, tax laws. You fucking have to go to college or have a consultant that knows all the laws, right? Because if you don't know the laws, you can't jump through them. So you have to know the laws to be able to navigate through these financial systems so that you can avoid having to pay tax, right? You can lower your taxable liability. Just thinking about it is enough to make you need a nap. But I mean, seriously, right? That's why these corporations get away with, businesses going bankrupt, being sued, going under, and they just walk away. There's no loss. They have no tax liability or very little because they maneuver their money through a specific set of laws that let them know how to do that legally. People think that laws are a restriction. Thank you, baby. Mm-hmm. People think that laws are a restriction that tell you what not to do, but they never think about laws that's telling you how you can do stuff legally. See the difference? One is a negative mindset, the other one's a positive mindset. Yeah, the laws say this. Oh, well, that means I can't do this. Shut the fuck up. That means I can do this, and this because the law says I can. That's the difference. So Pedro's pressing. I saw him pressing on Instagram earlier. Cheers. Exactly. I can tell you right now because I'm going through all of this financial stuff right now. I didn't come from money. I've lived paycheck to paycheck nearly my whole life, but I've also had, decent things, but I've always lived paycheck to paycheck. I'm not super, spendy on stuff unless I need it for the most part. And anyways, I recently had to hire a CPA to help me properly run my financials because I'm making enough money that I'm having to pay taxes and stuff on it. And I want to make sure that my books are right. The rule that I learned is if you can pay somebody, okay, to do your job 80% as you can do it, then you should do it. So that's what I did. I hired a CPA. He does it for me. He does it way better than I could ever do it. So it's way worth the money, $350 a month. And he helps me with my books, right? And when I hired him, it was when I started learning all these different tax laws and the different nuances between different corporation types and tax types and how to maneuver your money around to lower your taxable income and without evading taxes, and how to set up your corporate entity structure so that you have liability protection, anonymity, and redundancy, and you can lower your taxable liability across different entities by maneuvering your money in certain ways, and it's totally legal. And once you first hear it and you've never heard it before, it sounds like, man, this must be illegal. There must be something like fraudulent about this. This is not right. But you could read it in black and white. Like, this is the way it's supposed to work. This is how it works. This is the standard. But if you've never reached that, it's like if you were on a campus, but you were never allowed to leave the first grade classroom, right? You knew there was like another level. There's another door there. You just could never get into it. Once you fucking finally get into that door, it's like you go from first grade to fifth grade, and you just learn a lot of new shit. And it kind of blows your mind at first. You're like, what? But then you start to get it, and you're like, all right. Now I look around and I see why this makes sense. It's just crazy, dude. 1,400 grams? Damn, that's a lot of pressing. So yeah, you get more money, you get more access to different resources, and different resources comes wisdom and experience and access to different parts of the law and how to operate. And I'll tell you like this: you either got to do it one of two ways, in my opinion. If you're going to be a citizen in the United States, you need to run a business, an LLC, an S corp, or a C corp, and you need to play the corporate game. America is built on corporations. It's built for corporations to win and the average working man to be a slave working 40 hours a week and having to pay a fuck ton of taxes for it. Okay? So, if you're going to be a citizen in the United States, you need to play the fucking game. If you're not going to play the game, you're getting shafted either voluntarily or unknowingly, and you're going to be the slave boy working 40 hours a week, paying a ton of taxes, relying on the government and shit for your insurance and fucking social security and retirement, right? Or you can be a fucking corporation, a business owner. You can lower your tax liability. You can be self-employed. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you can lower your personal tax liability. Businesses are allowed to go negative, and most of the time they do go negative for the first several years on startup cost, marketing and advertising, R&D, expansion, right? So you can take that L over to your personal income taxes as a sole prop or a single member LLC, lower your personal taxable liability. Insurance is a game in itself for real. Like, did you know there's living living benefits insurance? I never knew that until recently, until I started hanging out with my tax guy and his financial aid people. And there is living benefits, health insurance, and life insurance. You can be paying into a life insurance policy that pays out while you're still alive. You can pay into a life insurance policy, which is an investment of its own, that will pay out while you're still alive. So you can invest money there and get profits from it. What are you saying, LibTech? I'm trying to understand. I don't know if you're talking to me or Dirty. And then, okay, so you, like I said, you could be one of those two, or you could be a sovereign citizen and just not play the game at all, right? The government isn't making a deal with any corporations. That's the law. But how do laws get put into place? By lobbyists. Who are the lobbyists? The corporations. You see the circle? Okay, so that's why a lot of the laws right now favor corporations, especially financial laws, tax laws, right? It's like I said, it's a mindset. You can either have the mindset of these laws restrict me, or you could have the mindset of these laws tell me how to operate. Think about it like this, and this is what I was alluding to earlier. It's an agency. There's regulations. There's rules that you have to abide by. It's like if you were part of an Elks Lodge as an old man or something. You know what I'm saying? Or part of the YMCA. You can't go around showing your dick to everybody. You're going to get a penalty. Why? Because that's their rule. It doesn't have to be against the law. It could be legal in your state to walk around and show your dick to people. But guess what? If the YMCA tells you it's not, then it's not, because you're a member there and you're on their property, right? Just like how somebody can trespass you off their property. It's I don't really know how better to explain it. Watch those videos. It's a vicious cycle, right? We've gotten away from what the initial government was put in place for, which was to protect and serve the people. Because corporations have taken over, because money is the root of all evil. People are greedy, so the people in power, all they had to do was get influenced by money, and now the laws are set up in a way such that it benefits those that have money. These laws are not talked about publicly because people don't want other people to make money like that easy. They think it's a secret that they should keep to themselves and benefit from, and only their elite circle knows about it. And that elite circle is the people with power of knowledge, right? CPAs, tax attorneys, business owners that have sought this counsel, etc. So what? That's what I mean, like almost like this live stream. If you recognize my screen name, maybe you'll listen more to what I have to say. I am listening to you. I'm actively reading your comments and replying. Why would you say that I'm not listening to you? You know, people have been being very argumentative with me today, and I've been like in such a chill mode because I've been so sick. I don't get it. But I'm listening to you, bro. I know you're not just a random. If the government knows you're able to run a business, I'll reread it. Maybe I'm high. If the government knows you're able to run a business that's successful and gives more people jobs and homes, they're accepting that you're on the level to push back on their laws. So the way that my tax guy explained it to me is this. The reason that corporations typically get the tax breaks is because corporations are employing people. When you're employing people, you're obviously providing a service to the local community, to the state, to the government, because those people pay taxes. So because you are a corporation that is making the government money, right, they give you tax breaks. Um, so there's also a lot of other stuff that goes into it too, like the health insurance that you have to pay for employees and all that. It's not so easy peasy, you know. Um, but that's the reason that my CPA explained it to me why corporations get the love from the government is because they make them money more so. Like look at it like this: if you have the government, right, and they're looking down on us as individual persons and then corporations, all of these sheep are making them money on an individual basis, right? But they're employed by corporations, businesses, right? So if you can have more businesses that employ more of these people, then it's going to make them more money. So they want to promote people to be business owners, right? And have employees because all those taxes are going to the government. Those taxes don't go. Those employees work for the business, right? Why should that money go to the government? Well, it does because those employees are agents of the government. So the government has to get their cut. Yeah, businesses are on a state level. You still get a federal tax ID number, but businesses are registered on a state level. Absolutely. Yep. That's why there's different taxes for different businesses in different states. Some states don't have business taxes. Some do. Some have a lower rate than others. It's a game. You know, you just got to learn the game. Like one thing I learned throughout this process too was that Wyoming is the state that created LLCs. LLCs weren't created by the federal government; they were created by the state of Wyoming. And so in Wyoming and a couple other states surrounding Wyoming, there's kind of different laws. Delaware, Wyoming, I think, where else did he say? There's a couple other spots, but they have kind of non standard business operating laws that are different from kind of the standard that you see across most of the other states. And that's because LLCs aren't federally regulated, it's state regulated. Each state has their own rules. So I don't know, just there's a lot of stuff that I learned, you know, outside of the sovereign citizenship stuff, just like financial stuff, playing by the books, learning the books, and looking at rules, regulations, and laws as not a restriction, right? Unless that's the case that you need to look at it in, but more so as a way to operate, a way to do things, right? So I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. More information is rarely a bad thing. That is true. Okay. Well, with that said, I'm going to run. I hope that you guys do go watch those videos, skim through them, skim through them. Um, look, man, it's none of the stuff that I just sent you is conspiracy theory stuff. It's all black and white. It's part of law. It's in the Constitution. It's this guy breaks it down better than I can in this video. I probably sound like a conspiracy theorist because I'm high and I look like a stoner. But if you watch that video, it's very well done, very informative. Thank God the comments are turned off. Don't even have to go down that road. Um, Check it out. And then if you do watch it and you catch me on the next live, let's talk about it because I'm probably going to watch them again It's always good to have that information. All right, you guys. Talk to you later.